Hello everyone, hope you're having an amazing day today. Welcome to the Film Insight channel. In today's video, we're going to cover the most memorable Hell's Kitchen contestants and review how they're doing now. So, sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get right into the content, guys. Ranjit Branston. Appearing in the 8th season of the show, Ranjit Branston, aka Raj, had to have been one of the most frustrating chefs to appear on the show. Widely considered as one of the most horribly useless cooks in the competition, it's an amazement that Gordon Ramsay let him compete. Regardless of the fact that Branston had a ton of passion, even receiving a bit of praise for his signature dish, things really only went downhill from there. Considering that he was the oldest person of his season, you'd expect him to have an edge over everyone else, but this was far from the case. He was extremely slow when it came to doing things and had trouble listening and communicating with his teammates. Supposedly, he's been cooking for even longer than Gordon Ramsay, which is even more of a testament to his poor skill level. Having a very hard time following along with orders, Branston would often be seen in his own world, going as far as to eat food that was meant for customers. As a result of his idiocy, this odd chef was picked on by the other contestants, but can you really blame them? Although the biggest issue with Branston was that he was way too stubborn to admit his mistakes. On top of this, he had the delusion that he was the strongest cook in the competition, and that everyone was picking on him because they were jealous. The reality though was quite different, since Branston was one of the worst performing chefs of his season, and probably even the worst in the show's history. It shouldn't come to a surprise, but he wasn't able to befriend anyone since he had an insufferable personality. Somehow making it to the 3rd week, Branston was finally eliminated, ranking in 13th place. Obviously, with a chef as god-awful as this one, Ramsay had to make a parting comment to rip him apart. He expressed that when the going gets tough in the kitchen, a chef puts his head down and cooks. All Raj wanted to do was put his head in the freezer, and that's why his stay in Hell's Kitchen was a short one. Just a little side note before we move on to how he's doing now, Branston hilariously missed the door on his way out after being eliminated. Like, how do you even do that? Anyway, post Hell's Kitchen, he simply returned to his career as a personal chef for a couple of years. However, as of this year, the wacky chef works at Frankel's in Brooklyn and for various venues as a catering chef. Jay Santos. Making his debut in the 7th season of Hell's Kitchen, Jay Santos made it all the way to the very end thanks to his undeniable talent. Being easily identifiable due to his dark blue hair, Santos had a cool demeanor and rarely got riled up. Surprisingly, he started off as a cocky and arrogant chef, but slowly became more and more humble over time. As a result, he managed to get close to contestants like Ed, Salvatore, Jason, and had a showmance with Holly Ugold in the Black Jackets portion of the competition. On the other hand, he seemed to dislike chefs like Scott Hawley since he was condescending, and Autumn Lewis since she was terribly inconsistent. Santos quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with in the kitchen through his consistently strong performances. Doing fantastic in not only the challenges but the dinner services alike, he became one of the most solid cooks in the competition. Additionally, he had incredible leadership skills, which is why he managed to become the runner-up of his season. Thankfully, Santos took his loss graciously, congratulating Holly for her win, and hilariously hoped to take her pants off afterwards. Regardless of the fact that he lost to her in the finals, he has to be one of the most successful runner-ups, managing to become one of Ramsay's sous chefs. Returning in the 19th season, he acted as the famous chef's right-hand man, holding the same level of standards towards the contestants. While he certainly can be harsh to those who didn't follow the rules, he was generally calmer and more respectful than the other sous chefs. Following his appearance on the show, Santos decided to return to his previous position at a restaurant called Gargoyles, but also appeared on a number of daytime television shows. Eventually, he began to teach culinary classes, took ownership of restaurants like Abbey Lane, Buttermilk and Bourbon, Citrus and Salt, and a lot more. For you Bar Rescue fans out there, you might have noticed that Santos has appeared as an expert chef since Season 5. Later on, as we mentioned, he became the Blue Team's sous chef, making him the 3rd contestant to become one without having previously won. What an amazing contestant. Dave Levy. Season 6 contestant David Levy, aka Dave, fought his way to the top, completely dominating the competition. Being a very kind and easygoing guy, Levy was one to crack jokes and was certainly able to lighten the mood. Very early on, he suffered from a fracture on his left wrist, which lasted throughout the entire competition. However, being the warrior that he is, this wasn't a problem for him at all, and he pushed through with his raw talents. Additionally, he was one of the most consistent chefs, despite the fact that he had mediocre performances during the challenges. Where he really seemed to shine was during the dinner services, which were consistently near perfect. This very fact earned him the name One-Armed Bandit by Ramsay, ignoring the immense pain he was feeling to carry his team to victory. In one instance, they even had one less person than the red team, but he completely obliterated them with his skills. If you already didn't respect this man, he never used his disability as an excuse for messing things up. Some even consider him to be better at doing many things alone with one arm than 2 chefs together doing one thing with 2. With such an impressive cook like Levy, it wouldn't come to a surprise that he befriended a lot of the contestants. Developing friendships with people like Ariel, Van, Robert, and Jim, he had a little friendly rivalry with a contestant named Kevin Cottle. The only people he really seemed to dislike were Joseph Tinley, since he would often disrespect Gordon Ramsay, and Tennille Middleton, since she could be very emotional at times. After prevailing in Hell's Kitchen, Levy was given the head chef position at a Ramsay restaurant and bar with a hefty $250,000 salary. Not only did he prove to the world that he's a monster in the kitchen, but he received a lovely comment from Ramsay. He expressed that Dave has a very natural ability and a very sophisticated palate. He fought through excruciating pain and excelled, and went on to win Hell's Kitchen. Following his run in the competition, he went on to work at the Ramsay restaurant until the end of 2010, since he was given the line cook position rather than the expected head chef position. Oddly, in 2014, Levy was arrested as a part of a drug bust, but was released without any charges since he was deemed innocent. While his social media presence has been practically non-existent, he seems to be working at Mara's Cafe and Bakery and tries to fund his sister's music career. Yet another amazing contestant. Heather West. Contestant Heather West debuted in the second season of the show, becoming the first female to win. Right off the bat, West was the most consistent chef and considered to be in a league of her own during the entire season. Having a strong personality and being very confident is what helped her get so far into the competition. Not only did she have exemplary leadership skills, but she had the best individual performances out of anyone that season. Aside from being a tough opponent to beat, West was certainly capable of having fun on the side and avoided getting too serious about things. The best part is, when she was having fun, she would act wild, cracking tons of jokes and making everyone laugh. What's more, West was one of the most compassionate contestants in the show's history, making her an incredibly likable person. She cared so much about the other contestants that she would tear up whenever people were eliminated, even if they were on the opposing team. Due to all these amazing traits, West built strong friendships with Rachel Brown and Keith Green. Before heading out after her triumphant run in the competition, West received a great comment from Gordon Ramsay. He said that Heather won Hell's Kitchen because of her determination. She stuck to what she knew best and controlled her kitchen from start to finish. Heather clearly has great leadership qualities, and this, for a 25-year-old cook, is a phenomenon. This woman is going to be a big success. Awarded with a position at the Red Rock Resort Spa and Casino, she was given an amazing $250,000 salary to become the Terra Rosa's executive chef. Since appearing on the show, West has racked up a whole list of impressive achievements which we can't say we didn't expect. While she only decided to stay at the Terra Rosa for a year, she went on to become the head chef at Monterey Restaurant. Following this, she moved on to another place called Jellyfish Restaurant, then Broadway Grill, before finally settling on a restaurant called Schaefer's located in Port Jefferson. Much like Jay Santos, Heather became a sous chef in a separate season, being the 6th, this time helping out the red team. On top of this, she's been featured in several other shows including Live with Kelly, Food Hound Tidbits, and Beat Bobby Flay. Back in 2014, she got married to her lovely partner, who she had 2 children with. Now she goes by the name Heather Sariñeze. Well, that'll be all for today's video here on the channel. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a massive like down below and comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more content like this, and turn on those sweet bell notifications for instant access to our content. Have a good one, guys.